We need, of course, to have a merit-based system. We have to have a constitution that makes it clear that this is a civil state, that this is a state, no matter your color, creed, what have you, religion, you have the same rights and obligations. We're still as remnant of the repression, people saying that you have to be a Muslim or a male to be a president. You know, this sort of ideas has to be completely crushed, and that's why I put a lot of focus on the Constitution, because the Constitution has to establish red lines. Everybody has to live by a civil state, equal rights, equal obligations, absolute tolerance, and whatever comes with a functioning democracy. Of course, we still have poverty, we still have issues of social justice, but at least we are free from fear. At least we have, you know, freedom to speak. Freedom of religion still need to amplify, you know, in Egypt, and again that comes back to the, you know, to the homogenic nature of the state. But if we do it right, you know, I think it will have tremendous impact on the rest of the Arab world. As Prime Minister was saying this morning, it's Arab Spring, it's tsunami, whatever you call it. It's something that is not going back. People are not going back. I should say that the Tunisian revolution, you know, was fantastic for Egypt because it just sent one very powerful psychological message. Yes, we can. You know, if the Tunisians were able to do it, then the Egyptians were able to do it. Then the Libyan were able to do it. Then everybody else were able to do it. And that's where we are right now. But we need to, as I said, we need to take our time. We need to have a proper transition. And if we will be a model for the rest of the Arab world. Kofi Annan the other day told me it will even have an impact on sub-Saharan Africa. Tom Friedman told me it will impact all the way to China. Maybe it's an exaggeration, but that's how people see it. You know, how we can establish in Egypt a modern, moderate state. Everybody wants to help right now, and that's why I'm very optimistic. I want to end with a note of optimism. I run single-handedly right now like a foreign office. Everybody is coming to Egypt right now, just about everybody. And, you know, after tomorrow I meet Ban Ki-moon. The day after I meet Mr. Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia. I meet Senator Kerry, everybody. That's, of course, not my priority, frankly, but I have to see them. But my priority is to work with the Egyptian and make sure that but everybody has a lot of goodwill. Everybody is asking the same question. And I got that question from the German foreign minister. He said, we would like to invest in Egypt, but we would like to know what kind of Egypt we're investing in. And that's a fair question. You need to put your house in order. And then I don't think the money is an issue. I don't think human resources. Like India, we have a lot of talents. I went to Harvard Kennedy School a few months ago. There was 15 Egyptians on the faculty there. And I told them, if I import you to Egypt, you know, you can run the country. So it is not a question of human resources. It's not a question of financial resources. It's a question of making sure that we are a stable country, modern country. You know, is not, you know, you talk about radicalization in the Arab world, in Egypt. Radicalization is a function of repression. You know, let everybody express his views. Let everybody dream. Let everybody have a life. And then everybody will think in the way we think. You know, how we can do it together as people. And how we make sure that we have the social solidarity we need. I should end by a sentence lots of young people used from Mahatma Gandhi, you know, explaining the journey we went through. He said that they first ignore you, they then ridicule you, they then fight you, and then you win. And I think we won.
Now, just to tell our very honored and esteemed guest that it was not the end, it was only a pause. We'll have questions now from all of you. But before that, just briefly, where is Hosni Mubarak now? Still in Sharm el-Sheikh?
That's a good question. I think he's still in Sharm el-Sheikh with his family. He's still his money, which was reported to be $70 billion. I don't know whether that's correct number, but it is in the billions for sure. He's still, being investigated for, enriching himself and his family. Lots of people want to see him put to trial. Lots of people want to see him out of the country. I think the best is for him to leave the country. I think somebody mentioned to me Tunisia resuscitated when Ben Ali left, and I think it also would be a good idea if Mubarak were to leave the country and just leave us on our own.
One more point. I think perhaps if you could just give us a little light on Japan and answer a question which is, I think, worrying us. Is nuclear power safe? Because we have plans to invest a great deal, and we would certainly like your view, sir.
I haven't been following that very closely, but I can tell you, there's no technology, Mr. Akbar, that is 100% safe. Whether it's coal power plants, whether a dam, whether, there is always risk and benefit. I fly tonight, I take a risk, but there is, you have to calculate the balance, maximize the benefit, minimize the risk. The Japanese situation is the worst of all cases. It's tsunami. It's an earthquake of magnitude of 10 on the Richter scale. It's as I understand, an old reactor, 40 years old, that has not have the best containment. It's a boiling water reactor in comparison with other modern power reactors. I hope, of course, that the core will not melt down. But definitely what we need, as Prime Minister Manmohan Singh said today, is a complete review of our safety and how to make sure that safety is designed to what we expect. And clearly now we can expect much worse situation than we thought we did. And we need peer reviews. The IAEA used to do peer reviews. We need to visit every power reactor. We need to make sure that we strengthen safety as much as we can. Probably we need to shut down some of the old reactors if they do not meet the modern safety standard.